Test, 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 test. Let's see. Guys, I am just, as usual, running in from work. Hope everybody's doing well. Didn't even get a chance to turn my computer on behind me. Guys, I am just, as usual, running in. Oh, that was my knee into my big old desktop. Oh, that hurt. As if I don't have enough stuff hurting on my body. It's a grumpy world. Man, I'm happy, man. Everything's great. I gotta figure out where all this volume's coming from. Oh, let's see. Seems like we have a lot going on. If y'all been catching my videos and my shorts and stuff like that, there is a lot of stuff going on. It's funny how we just go from kind of this lull that things are kind of slow, and then all of a sudden stuff just starts popping. So getting to, we'll see. How many ashes you're getting? Hey, I think that Wingbits AMA, talking to somebody else about it, you know, I don't know if I'm supposed to. You know, I feel there's times where I make comments and videos and then after, which is very rare for me that I feel bad about something after. Usually I'm the one that says I don't lose sleep, but my mouth kind of overran. You know, sometimes you don't understand the full scope of things. And I made the comment through the video, so I want to apologize to Robin with Wingbits, because I made the comment in the video yesterday that I wish he would devote more time to Wingbits. And look, I know the man's busy as hell, hustling, and got several different projects and several different potential customers, clients, whatever, who was testing the process, testing onboarding, different things like that. And he's working, you know, he had to leave the AMA right at 12 because he had a meeting with a large Japanese airline industry group, something like that. What I didn't realize is he was actually also at a certain very large conference that was going on. I don't want to give out too much because I don't know if I'm allowed to give it out. So he took time in between this conference with meetings and different things like that with potential clients and customers to even do this AMA, because they know it had been some time since the last one. And then he had to jump out to go meet with another one. So he's hustling. So it kind of, and I try to explain myself to the team that I didn't really mean a slight by it. I didn't mean it like I was upset that he had to rush out. I just was just making the comment that, hey, while you have 70 plus people from this project, I won't use the word trapped, but engaged in that AMA, it's a great time to hit everybody. Like when you put an announcement out or a general out on their Discord, people read it and come and go and might not understand the full effect of it. But when you have everybody engaged, and I enjoy these AMAs because, it shows us that the team is still working, even though they might be behind the scenes doing stuff for 3 or 4 weeks and we don't see no new announcements. We don't see nothing really going on in the general. When they do these AMAs and we hearing firsthand from them what's going on, that's, to me, that's a very positive thing, So I wanted to make sure I clarified that I didn't mean anything negative about yesterday's exact AMA that he had to, leave right at 12 or 11 or whatever time it exactly was. I just meant that whenever the next one is, maybe he can try to schedule a little more time to answer some additional questions. Now, there are some redundant questions and questions that people ask that, if y'all saw that video yesterday, and look, it's, y'all know me, but I found it funny that there was a hour-long AMA and I do a video to discuss it, and my video is longer than the AMA was. But y'all know me. I talk too much. But, one thing I did mention, and I put as the title of my video yesterday, is I would like to see them implement the grumpy fine or the grumpy penalty. I think anybody who asks on there when mainnet should automatically get a 100 wing deduction. Just burn it. Just burn the wings. Send it to the homeless. Maybe the homeless has a crypto wallet somewhere we don't know about. Feed the homeless. Give them medical stuff that they need, can't afford. Because I love how people just ask when mainnet, like as if, hey, the project, this isn't just for Wingbits, this is for a lot of projects. Hey, we didn't make an announcement for mainnet, but since you asked, we're going to go ahead and release it right now. Come on, dipshit. I don't understand that. I don't understand the whole when mainnet thing. Like, you should be going, if you that curious and that impatient to worry about when mainnet is, just go to the announcements. If you don't see it in the announcements, then I could tell you in the freaking general. Ban. Yeah. So, but other than that, like, I thought the rest of it was awesome. So we got our answer when mainnet. So, again, I'm trying not to be negative. A little disappointed that it's going to be another long, very, very long 3 months and 4 or 5 days or so. Not that I'm counting or have a big countdown clock in here or something. Maybe that's what I need to do. If we ever get more of a firm date, I'm going to get one of them big countdown calculators. Clocks maybe right behind me. That's clicking. But, they said that that's going to be a firm date. They have contracts and different things that are going to be set. If y'all saw that, the biggest question is the CEXs. And like I said in the AMA yesterday, if y'all saw that when I was typing my gibberish, basically, you can't name any projects in their AMA or on their Discord. That's against the rules, but it's not against my rules. And if you haven't paid attention, you're not involved in it. If you want to see a lesson on how not to do token releases, go look up Silencio and Soarchain. Soarchain is getting removed from MEXC, which what I said today in my short was basically MEXC is the Dollar General. For those of y'all who may be out the country that don't know what Dollar General is, it's got the word dollar in it for a reason. That's about everything's worth in there. Which, hey, when you need certain things, I go to Dollar General. They got like 6 of them within a mile of my house. But when you can't handle MEXC and you have issues with them, hey, even DFly was on MEXC for a while. I think D-Fly might have lasted longer on Mech C than Soarchain did. And hell, D-Fly was never even a legit project. So yes, I'd like to make sure that not only does it have to be good CEXs, it's got to be CEXs that Americans or whatever country you're in that might limit CEXs. It doesn't have to be necessarily only America. I don't know what countries all y'all might be from or whoever watches this live later, but it has to be something that preferably, you know, as I hear from certain people, that you can use this thing called, I think it's like a VPN or something like that. It's like 3 letters, and might be able to hit some certain exchanges. But even those exchanges with a VPN, more and more of them want to do KOL. So you can't do anything with it anyway unless you submit your ID, from what I'm told from people, from a friend. The friend says, you know, and then you still can't do nothing with it. So VPN don't help you. Did he have dollar stores in Europe? Euro stores. That's funny. Yeah, B, I saw your DM about the Canada station. Is the fire still going on up there? I did see a little bit of press releases about the fires in Canada. You know, normally most people that live in Louisiana wouldn't be as concerned with fires in Canada or North Canada. But for this person, I have a hosted Wingbits station there with B. And then when he DM'd me that he wanted to know what did we think the what kind of device is that? You know, old helium device, but I think it might be in what, like a you don't have it in the case. I'm trying to think what it is. But anyway, would it survive a fire? And I was like, I don't think that is surviving. But hey, I'm glad to hear that survive. I hope nothing was damaged up there. Sense cap. It's a sense cap that's in a metal box with a GeoNet device. So hopefully, yeah, sense cap rack box. I'm actually working a deal out right now. I got somebody who wants to sell me 5 outdoor helium devices, brand new. Boxes have never been opened. And I'm trying to decide what's a good price without insulting them, but knowing that I will technically never ROI on the helium box itself. I want to use it for the outdoor metal box to put Wingbit stations in them or something similar to something like that. Because that's what I'm using. I got like 3 or 4 of those boxes now that are either dual mining with bit harvest, that they're doing helium with Wingbits and grass, or not grass, because grass is screwed up on bit harvest right now, but you know, all that other stuff. So I'm trying to, you know, you look on eBay, they got devices as low as $35, $40 for outdoor Nebra helium devices. And they got some that people want $200 for them, and they're smoking crack. It's crack with some meth in it. So B, don't be talking about all my business on that like that. Don't go away. But no, me and that guy have been talking back and forth. He's cool as hell. But again, just because we're cool don't mean I'm going to go overpay him. But I don't want to insult the man either. He's like, oh, throw me a price. No, bro. I'm going to throw you $20 if you want me to throw you a price. So hopefully everybody else is doing well. Make sure you'll hit the like button. Make sure that, y'all spread the good news. So yeah, so I did a good video yesterday. At least I felt it was a good video. Some days, I sit here and work on videos for hours sometimes. And when I'm done and I submit it, I'm like, that was trash. Like, I would be so confused, I would turn it off. And there's sometimes I do videos that I thought were pretty good that I worked hard on. And sometimes those get the less views. And I'm like, I'll never figure this whole thing out. So I'm going to do a video also on, I got a couple of videos lined up. So tomorrow I'll go in for my doctor's appointment to find out when I'm going to need surgery on my stomach and all that stuff like that. I took the day off of work. So my plan is to But I can't have no emergency surgery because my son's graduating tomorrow from high school. So I don't care what they say. I don't care if they say, hey, your organ's going to explode any minute now. I'm like, I don't care. My son's graduating from high school. I ain't missing it. I'll be on a stretcher. I'm not missing it. I don't care. And then we'll deal with it after. Then Saturday, my godchild niece, is graduating from LSU. She got her 4-year degree there, and now she's going to LSU Medical after that. That's the one I helped move last week, if y'all follow me on that. So Saturday, I go to graduation at LSU, watching all these people graduate. It's going to be a horrible, terrible, horrible time. That's a dad joke in there. But anyway, so maybe Sunday, Sunday I got to get to my hunting camp. I got to put protein out because we late on that. Couldn't get to the hunting camp because turkey season. So now I got to go put protein out to feed the little baby deers and stuff like that. So maybe Monday, if I have to, I'll get surgery then. But I can't do Monday because Monday I got to do my video, my summary of projects video. So maybe Tuesday. We'll see. Be the good 2-day hunting trip before. Well, there's no hunting right now because I had to do some work outside trying to find some radios and some different cars and stuff that works about to send back to either auction or lease people. And I think I sweated about 7 pounds off because it's 91 degrees here. Humidity's back up, so heat index is probably close to 100, and I was sweating. And it's May, so there's no hunting, but there'll be, now we got work days to do at the hunting camp and stuff like that. So we can do a fishing trip. We were supposed to do a trip, to be honest with y'all. I know my wife said I tell y'all way too much of my personal business, but I don't care. I like to share with y'all. Y'all my family too. And everybody except Oreo. But anyway, so we were supposed to do a trip in June. He's more of a history buff type person. He wanted to go to Boston, New York, Philadelphia, see the Liberty Bell and see Boston Stadium, go to Red Sox game, go to Yankees game, and do that kind of stuff like that. And be honest with y'all, when we priced it out for a week or two, a week and a couple more days, whatever, it's stupid. And honestly, the airfare wasn't bad. The airfare was about 120, 130 a person round trip, which is not bad. It's a steal. It's the freaking hotel rooms. Like, I'm talking about just like middle tier type hotels. $400 a night, $500 a night. I'm like, maybe in the fall after mainnet for Wingbits is last week of August. Maybe in September we can do that trip. But and it sucks because he deserved it. I mean, he's an A-B student, after about 8th grade when he hummed the ball at somebody's head. I don't know where he gets that anger problem from. After that, we haven't had a single behavior issue with him at school. There's days when y'all might hear his mom and him want to go do a wrestling match, and I got wonder if I got to go separate them sometimes. But y'all know teenage boys, so, but normally he's a good kid, so he deserves that. And I feel really bad that we probably not going to be able to do that, but it is what it is. It is what it is. My parents live beside an Air Force base. Would Wingbits be worth it there? Soon seen. First of all, welcome to the channel because it's the first time I'm seeing you. Welcome to Wingbits if you're new. The first thing you got to do is you go to the Wingbits map and you click that area, wherever that is, that Air Force base, and you see how many stations are around because it goes more by that. Yes, they talked yesterday in the AMA about a little more of a bonus if you're catching stuff within certain airports, but I don't think that's really gonna count. You can go see if that airbase shows up on the map, but the biggest thing you want to do is you want to go and check if that's in Carson, Nevada. You want to go check Carson, Nevada and see how many stations are within, say, 150, 200 miles. If there's only 3 or 4 stations, I don't care if there's a military base or a football stadium or whatever. That's a good spot. If there are 30 stations within 100 miles of that, I would save you money or try to put it somewhere else. The Wingbits flight route is cool AF. Pull it up while we're live. y'all gonna get me in trouble because that is something I have yet to play with. There was also a new function that I saw that I wanted to make sure I brought up. And so soon seen, if you are watching right now, we're gonna walk through it together. So the first step you gotta do when you come into Wingbits, this is for anybody coming into Wingbits. You click up here on the map. See where it says map? And all my stations are gonna show up, even though I'm not signed in. And these are all the planes that Wingbits stations are covering right now. And you know, everything up in here is me. But look, I accidentally clicked on it. I wanted to see what the altitude filter. Oh man, that's cool. Y'all see how much I actually play with this side of it. Like, now the only thing is this always seems to happen to me. Oh, maybe is it because I'm signed out? All right, let's play with this first. And then, so what, that was B that brought that up. So B brought up about, the flights. Let's bring up flights. So what's cool is, if y'all can see it on here, what's cool is that they have this altitude filter down here. And as you increase the altitude, it brings up the flights. That's awesome. First time I'm seeing this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, for how much I'm into Wingbits, I'm playing with the mining side of this. I don't come to this map that much, other than when I'm doing videos and showing y'all. But if you click on one of these, if you click on the plane, it shows y'all where it is. Now, the other day they said that this flight function, this flight number wasn't live yet, but let's see. Let's try. Let's Ash 6276. Let's click off of that. Let's do a search, and there it is. Wow, that's cool. That is cool. I'm gonna tell y'all, when my wife and daughter went, this was last year, they went to Disney World just by themselves. Somebody else was going and basically paid for everything for them. They just had to pay for like their own food or something like that. I sat here and watched as they're playing. I call this the Miami pipeline right here. And I sat here and watched their flight coming off of my station that was down here. And I could see almost all the way. I'm going to tell you something else that I don't capture that much of until recently is these balloons. So this one doesn't tell me the altitude. But I don't like. I know the ham radio guys do balloons because Louisiana in their convoluted decision making, and that governor is trying to come up with a law that says you can't do any balloons. Period. Just period. No balloon releases. Period. Very vague. So like if you're scientific and you do university and different stuff like that, you're doing these, can't do balloons no more. That's how stupid it is. And these ham guys are having a fit over it because they do some ham experiment type stuff, but they even go to school and show these kids how to do it. If y'all have never seen those videos, they're pretty cool. Some of them put a GoPro on them and you send them up to atmosphere. But I've never really seen that. But so show scene, I wanted to show him that too, if he's still even here with my rambling. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to go to stations. And if you want to go to, what I said, Carson, Nevada. Where the hell's Carson, Nevada at? It shows you how much I know about geography. And oh yeah, well, Carson City. There you go. So if you're in Carson City and you're trying to put a Wingbit station here, you are good to go. Even though there's no military planes, but you do have this airport right here, which is one of the large, like he said, 470 of the largest airplanes. So what you eventually will see is you'll start seeing a super hex within a certain mileage of here. A super hex that kind of looks like GeoNet, where it's like a cluster of, let's see if I can find it. For those who can't see, if y'all ask me questions right now, I'm off that question thing, so I can't see it. So network console map. So what GeoNet has is GeoNet has these super hexes. And that's places where paying customers need that higher level GPS, whatever you want to call it, more precise GPS in a certain area. My hunting camp is up in here, and I missed it by a nose hair. But anyway, so you can see this is a super hex, and then it has these smaller hexes all around it. And you're going to start seeing this on the Wingbits side. When Wingbits has a major airport like this, you will now see these super hexes around it, smaller hexes. And the way they're going to do it is if your station, if I have a station way over here, if it's a good enough station, high enough station, and I can capture aircraft within a certain, 10,000 or less, or I think it might be 5,000 or less, something like that, I'm going to get a bonus. I'm going to get bonus rewards. So, there was something else that was said. So yeah, it'll give you some kind of bonus coverage. I was trying to read my details on it, but so that's what it is. So for soon seen, going back to him, if you live in an area like this and you see all these stations, go join Helium or find a buddy that lives out here. The Vaselina's probably not here this evening, but he's going to ask. He's here in spirit. He's been a little under the weather lately. I've been chit-chat with him, checking on him and stuff like that. So he's in my prayers. But, he would ask to check his favorite city. Chugwater is still wide open for y'all. One day I'll find somebody in Chugwater. So for soon seen, that's what it is, man. I don't know where it is. If you want to put, or you want to DM me your city or something like that, or private message me or email me, as you see, my station's here. This is the New Orleans International Airport. And you're going to, I'm going to see these, what do you call them? The super hexes around here. And my stations, one of my stations does hit that. Let's see. I think I measured the other night. It was like 24 miles, 25 miles. So this is my station. And you can see I'm getting low altitude aircraft. This is 75 feet in the air, 50 feet in the air, 25 feet in the air, 0 feet landed successfully. And as you can see, I have flights on the ground. So I would be able to get that, where my other stations, the lower elevation, and they're further out up here, they don't see the airport. So I'm probably not going to get those extra bows. So I wanted to clarify that because there was a little confusion in my video. You don't necessarily have to have a station within a certain mileage. You just have to be able to see that golden super hex area, which is 0 to 5,000 or 0 to 1,000, 0 to 10,000 feet, and ground level and different stuff like that, and whatever. And then you will get a bonus for being able to pick that up, if that makes sense. So let me go see all the B, you said off-topic question. You mentioned it. I was waiting for you to say, like, the stupid YouTube comments. Off-topic question. Could you help me with this wallet, please? And here's my 12 words. Let me back up. Let me see where I'm at. Can you please discuss more? They said about the flight deals you can get. Is it just merch stuff or actually good flight deals? Thoughts? What I'm gonna say is we have no idea yet. Robin just mentioned that, you know, in addition to you'd be able to sell your tokens, of course, like you normally do. He was also looking to be able to exchange your wings for like flight miles, you know, because if you have enough miles, you get a free flight, just like any other kind of reward system you would have with Southwest Airlines, United, Delta, or something like that. And let's say maybe if you only had another 100 miles, you could get a free flight and you're 100 miles short. Well, you'd be able to exchange your wings somehow, possibly, to get a few more frequent flyer miles to get to maybe the next tier that you need to get a round trip ticket to Honolulu. Who knows? Nobody tell my wife about that, please. Because if she asks me one more time to go to Hawaii, we used to watch Magnum PI a lot. And that's every freaking week we'd watch it. I don't want to go to Hawaii. No, thank you. Or other rewards. So they would have other rewards. I know, like me, I've did a short or video one time with my crypto.com because I'm a dark blue crypto.com card holder, which again, I don't even get off into that thing about that, but that's been a great deal, worked out wonderfully for me. And I'm telling you right now, if Crow ever gets back to $1, it's going to be my best investment. Probably my best investment. But anyway, but I also get access to lounges. Every airport's got these private lounges that are all closed off, free drinks, like alcohol drinks, free drinks, soft drinks, free food. I had a video one time on it. Some of them have lounges. Some of them have sleep, like little sleep areas where you can go and sleep. And I slept during one of them. And they made it sound something like that you would also be able to possibly redeem it for that. Now, again, none of this is finalized yet, ladies and gentlemen. Please understand that. So don't just listen to what Grumpy says. That's just something that he kind of mentioned towards that. Oh, rally. So Raleigh is North Carolina. One thing I want to say that you cannot go by, and this is somebody did a, you know, understand it's me other people that do Wingbits videos. So listen, don't take it like that. But I do like to critique some people's Wingbits videos. Some of the YouTubers that come in last minute don't understand how the game goes. They didn't pay the grumpy tax. But anyway, and they tell people, oh, well, go to the Wingbits website and just go search for your city. And once you search for your city, if it's open, but it doesn't work like that because I would say Raleigh's not really open. Like, you know, if you're down, you're saying Raleigh's right here. I mean, this hex is open. I mean, this hex is closed. I'm sorry, is claimed. You know, and these people are doing 20 rewards. It's 150, 40. I don't know if these people have. I don't know if the terrain is or anything like that. I'm gonna tell you though, if you're trying to put a station up in here, I would pass. Unless you're going on something that can see line of sight for 200, 300 miles higher and can outdo these people. But if you're just putting this on top of a house or on top of, you know, garage or something, you got trees around and like different things like that. If it's up in here, I'd pass. If you're more this way, especially like up in here, I think it would work for you. Or if you know somebody that lives there. You know, even when you come up into this area, you know, you want these open areas. You don't want to be in these clusters or in these clusters and stuff like that. So that's kind of how that works. You know, this person's getting 6. Like, where is this miner at? In the bathroom? Like 6, 6.8, 4.8, 6.8, 4.8, 23 wings in 7 days. And that's why I tell people, this is a perfect example. This is why I tell people to take a deep breath when they start seeing a station that comes close to them and you get all upset that people encroaching on them and all the stuff like that. I'm like, take a deep breath, because I could wish that the stations that come around me get 6 a day. No, they're getting 150 a day, and they didn't pay the grumpy tax. So this is a perfect example of why take a deep breath. It ain't the end of the world. You never know what kind of station they're going to have. And here you go. 6, 4, 6, 4. It ain't the end of the world. Now, you come up here where people aren't paying the grumpy tax. This one still ain't online yet, but this guy came online a while back. And he's down. Something must have happened because he was making 100 at one time. This guy right here is still waiting on. So these people must be still waiting on high-fix devices or something, because they've been reserved for a while now. Y'all want to see what a 12 dB people want to argue with me about high dB antennas? This is a 12 dB antenna. I'm hoping it's laying down now, and he just didn't tell me. This is my buddy's station. So anyway, who that is. But anyway, so that's how you look for other stations. Let's go. All right. B has an off-topic question. You mentioned a few of your stations are on a SIM card data. What kind of SIM card routers are you using or recommend? I use Teltonika RUT 240 and Nighthawk M1s. I've heard of several people talk about the RUT 240. I think you're using a RUT 240. Like, so yeah. It seems to work. It seems to be solid. The biggest thing is, everybody keeps telling me about this T-Mobile plan where you bring your own router and your own device. You're getting it for you get the service for like $10 a month, which with enough gigs to last you a month for Wingbits. Trying to find a device that's cost effective for that to happen. You know, my Nighthawk M1s, when I go to a site, because this has happened several times, I don't plan for this, but I always bring one with me. I have one in here. I always bring one with me for just in case. You know, you go to a host house who says, yeah, I can work. Grand Isle at first was just like this. Man, I can get Wi-Fi where I'm going to tell you to put this device at. And you get out there, you drop 3 hours out there, and you realize you can't get Wi-Fi, or the Wi-Fi is so weak, which is still a problem I'm having now. The Wi-Fi is so weak that you end up having to use one of these devices. The problem I've had is that putting it in a box, even with fans or without fans, 100-something degrees or 95 degrees, 100-degree heat index, having hot air blow into it and stuff like that, the battery overheats, because you got to keep it plugged in so it stays charged. Then the charging overheats the battery, and then it shuts down for a while. So my Grand Isle station with an M1 Nighthawk in it, and I've actually tried 2 different models. They both, I think, the Nighthawk M1 or something. But the problem I've had is that during the middle of the day, at the 2 p.m. hottest part of the day, and there's no rain clouds around, it shuts down. Now, the DIY stations for a while would buffer for a while and keep that data internal, so that eventually when it cooled off later that day and then the M1 started operating again, it would download. But Robin told me that wasn't going to stay around, so y'all don't count on that. But that's my issue I've had with the M1, where I started playing around. I had trying not to give out too much information, but had someone who was swapping to a newer model, a new 5G model for some of his work projects on Cradle Points. Also Sierra wireless modems. And because he wanted 5G, the ones he had with LTE or something like that. And those are a more rugged device that are meant to sit out there in that heat and don't skip a beat. So, but again, those are not cost effective at all. If y'all had to go buy Sierra Wireless modems or the Cradle Points, they're $1,200. But when you have a buddy who says, hey, I got new ones coming in, here's the device, you just got to put your own SIM card in it, you know, it works. So that's I don't know what everybody else is using, but whatever. Did they say if that applies to all airports listed on the map, or that would be special more? All he said about the airport thing was 474 of the largest airports will have lower altitude rewards. So I'm assuming those are the ones you're seeing on the map, because I can tell you, I have a airport here in the parish where I am. I have a station in New Orleans that's right outside the lakefront, what they call the lakefront airport. And that's where a lot of celebrities come in because they don't have to deal with the hustle and bustle. And at one time, presidents came into that airport, but then Obama wanted to make the big flash of airport shuts down when the president comes, and the big motorcades and the big escorts and stuff like that. He wanted this big show, and he started coming into the New Orleans International Airport because everybody had to stop what they're doing because the president was here. And then every president after that has stuck with going to New Orleans International. But the lakefront airport, this is New Orleans International Airport right here. Why is this still? This is New Orleans International Airport right here. Lakefront airport's right here. You can see and I got a station that's like right up in here just to try to capture that. You know, when we didn't know what kind of airports we'll be getting extra rewards, my buddy lives right here. And there's a big house right here that shadows it this way, but he can see everything this way. But as you can see, this airport's not here. This airport's not listed. This is a regional airport where people bring in stuff for the river, Mississippi River right here. Gonzales has a big airport, has an airport also somewhere up in here. Anyway, you see that not every airport is listed. Going back to, all right, live landing, cool. Use a T-Mobile plan, 619 to beat me. Cheap $30 dongle. Can you remove battery? Mine runs without battery. I have been contemplating that, about just taking the battery out and letting it run straight off power. Sometimes if you take the back cover off, that'll work also. But my hope is, and this is what I try to do with the Wi-Fi, is letting that run on Wi-Fi, and I won't have to worry about that. Another thing that I got, if I can find it just real quick, when you put that device in the case, you start really hindering your Wi-Fi reception. So I purchased these. I shared them one time in a video, and I actually had to send one recently to y'all know I have a host in Corpus Christi, and I sent one to him, and it actually works extremely well. It's got external antennas on it like this. And it works. $22. It picks up 5G, 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi or 2.4. And look, this guy in Corpus Christi, he's a hunting guide. That's how I know him. He does my hunts in Texas. He is not IT friendly at all, Wi-Fi friendly, computer literate at all. It's a simple app you download, you follow the steps, and it's it. You watch the lights on the front. And this thing works very well. So I have 2 different stations where now this is plugged in right on the outside, picks up the Wi-Fi, and then you can run, I'm pointing at the screen, you can run a Cat 5 directly into, and I find this is way more solid than trying to put a little thumb drive. For my devices that did need 5 gigahertz, I used to send you, show you all the little dongles like this for 2.4, because I do prefer 2.4 for this. But I had what I'm coming across is some hosts, their ISPs don't even have 2.4 Wi-Fi turned on anymore. So now I'm using 5 gigahertz dongles. But if I can, what I'm doing is I'm putting I don't have one right here, USB extension, and then hanging this out the box. If that makes sense. If that makes sense. Yeah, Nighthawk M1s is what I use, and I'm about to start. I'm working with 619. He's holding my hand as I try to build my first subdued, if you want to call that word, tactical is a funny word. You know, kind of hidden in the middle of the woods Wingbit station. That's my plan. Off grid, off site. Of all the helium devices I've had, 30 helium devices, and 20 plus Wingbit stations between me and friends. I've never did a completely off site project before, ever. Even on the crime cameras at work, never. So I have LiFePO batteries that if y'all aren't familiar with LiFePO batteries, they're about a third of the weight of regular batteries, way more safer than lithium. And the lifespan of these is a lot better because it's not really a slope like most batteries go down. It's kind of like either you have power or you don't have power. And putting this in a putting that in a to-go box, whatever you want to call it. But the whole solar panel thing and charger is the part that can start costing a little bit. And I don't want to go put a station in the middle of nowhere and not get decent rewards for it. So, but I have another station that I have to put somewhere else because it was grandfathered in and it's in a hex with something else. And this is why when people start crying on the Discord about, oh, Wingbits has a station, they got a station in the middle of the ocean. What y'all gonna do about it? How come y'all not doing about these gaming stations? Listen, y'all might see it on the dashboard, but I can guarantee you it ain't getting rewards. With the geosonars and the GPS, trust me, I have 2 stations right now that if we would have clicked on the dashboard, it's showing rewards. And I'm telling you, I'm not getting any rewards for it because it says geosonar or the GPS is off. It's off more than X amount of whatever you call it, kilometers. So this is it right here. This station right here, when you click on it, it says it's 150 miles. And 150 wings. But I'm telling you, it ain't getting that. So yeah, it's not getting that. It tells me that station issues. The station needs attention to resume earning rewards. And it's because the GPS. So people who see those stations in the middle of the ocean, and look, I told somebody today that that's what they need to do is I would never shut down a DIY station. Somebody was talking about, hey, I got one of these great bad boys, awesome bad boys in. I want to shut my DIY device and delete it and put this. I'm like, don't delete it because they're never coming back with DIY stations. You move it to the ocean. So as soon as you move it to the ocean, make sure you're ready to onboard this one. As soon as you move it to the ocean, and it's online, you move it to the ocean, that hex where you want to put this at is going to clear up instantly. And then now you can onboard this one right then and there. And you're not gaming because you're not getting rewards because it's going to give you the big error like I got that says you're not in the right hex. So turn off keep corn. Yeah, I'm not planning on doing all that because I know running like the bit harvest stuff like that is going to run a little more power to it. So I just got to put the stuff together. Oh, who's doing that? I'll buy the Geosauner. The problem is, is that what people want for Geosauners, you can pay a tad more, or some of them are more than the. It shows you how business minded people think. They think people greedy, and I guess they got some people out there paying for it, don't realize it. You can buy these brand new for what, somewhere between $400 and $500. I think it's 500, and with my discount, you get 400 something, whatever. And you got people selling the Geosauner for 500. Why would you do that? If y'all watched my video 2 weeks ago, I put a lot of sweat, tears, and curse words into that video, broke stuff and everything for y'all, the things I do for y'all. This outperforms DIY devices in every aspect, especially when you put a 5.5 on here. And again, I'm going to say this every time. Whoever decided to put a TNC connector on there, when we have our first big Wingbits party somewhere, and he says, hey, Grumpy, I just want to let you know, I'm the one that came up with this TNC connector. I'm just going to look at him square in the face, and I'm going to kick him as hard as he can in his balls. But anyway, the only thing that outperforms this is a DIY station with a properly set up, like I said, that properly set up, configured AirSpy Mini with a cavity filter, with the proper feed line, with a 5.5 dBi antenna. That is the only thing that outperforms this. I tested it. People can argue with me all day, but what antenna should be better, blah, blah. I don't care. Real world. Kick 619 on the balls. So a couple of things I want to hit on because we're getting late. It's 8 o'clock already. I don't want to make this only Wingbits, but y'all know I'm excited for Wingbits, so it's gonna be cool. So if y'all watch my short today, while we're kicking people in the balls, Soarchain has activated, which might be too little too late. Y'all can say what y'all want. Soarchain has activated cameras on your devices or on the app. For last week or two, it was activated on Androids, and now they finally did it on iOS. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with Soarchain. Somebody, I don't want to say his name, but somebody DM me and says, can you please do an update video on Soarchain? I'm like, well, what would you like in it? He says, and then he just went on this rant. Like, just went on and on and on about this rant. And I'm like, I mean, I agree with all that. That's some, I just don't want to seem like I'm always doing negative videos. Some of these big YouTubers, they don't never do negative videos. Maybe that's why I'm, hey, I just hit 30,000 subscribers. Thank y'all. Give me a thumbs up. Like for 30,000 subscribers. Thank each one of y'all. But he asked for a video on Soarchain talking about all the issues they got going on. He says they're starting to turn into a kind of a D-fly, where he must know me from D-fly, because he says when people are starting to talk negative and question things that Soarchain's doing, they get the mute button and then they get the ban button. And I just think there's a fine line between questioning and stuff like that, or if you're just in there completely being a douche, you're gonna get the ban. It matters what you're saying. So one thing he brings up, and this is something, and this is what I wanted to start doing tonight. For those of y'all who used to watch NCIS, Gibbs always had rules. Rule number 23, rule number 33. I plan on one day when I can sit down, I'm gonna have Grumpy's rules. Rule number 1, I told you so. Rule number 2 is business people don't know how to run deep end projects, and deep end people don't know how to run businesses. I think Wingbits is going to prove that rule wrong. Everything they're leaning towards seems they've been able to find a balance to do both. Wingbits just might be the white unicorn exception. But you look at Silencio and Soarchain and Nadix and some of these other ones, and it's a shit show. Now I'm going to get in trouble with YouTube for saying that, but I don't know how else to say it. Soarchain coming home today. It's a 20-minute ride home. I have the app open as I'm testing the camera. So the app is open, testing the camera fixture. And then whoever, I don't know if they even beta tested this, because if you have your phone on the normal volume, every 3 to 4 seconds, it's clicking a picture. And it's sitting there making the camera pictures sound. Click, click, or chick, 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 chick. And I'm like, who wants to hear this while you're driving down the road? But then it's on your phone, so you don't want to silence it, because then you might not hear it vibrating if somebody's calling you. Like, who? And then there's no option to turn that sound off. Who wants to hear the camera clicking, whatever you want to call it, sound every couple of seconds? That's stupid. And then it takes pictures as long as the GPS is moving. So you can actually take the phone, hold it like this where it's covered, and drive down the road. And it's taking pictures, and you're getting tokens for it. Well, and right now you're getting test tokens for it. But my point is, even while that camera's taking pictures, the app is open. I look at it, disconnected. I'm like, are you joking? So then you have to exit out the camera feature of Soarchain to go back into the miner section, reconnect the Bluetooth, go back to the camera. I set the camera back up. I'm taking pictures. I'm telling you, 5 minutes later, I'm disconnected. It says, because it has a status on there, disconnected or connected. I'm like, this is a joke, man. This thing can't stay connected for 5 or 10 minutes. The only positive thing that I can find with this project, the only positive is the staking is absolutely stupid. Stupid, crazy, awesome, stupid, crazy, awesome. 61% staking, APR staking right now. I'm making almost triple in staking per day than I am actually doing the mining. How sustainable is that? You know, and like somebody brought this up, you know, grumpy rule number 3. Here you go. Burning don't mean chit if, and I said CHIT, chit, so I don't get in trouble. Burning don't mean chit if you have to have people wanting your token. There has to be a scarcity involved. That's what burning also involves. And if nobody's buying your token because you don't even have it on CEXs anymore, you got kicked out of the old TGNY. I really aged myself. Probably, most of y'all probably don't even know what TGNY is. TGNY was Dollar General before Dollar General. But anyway, you got kicked out the Dollar General CEX. There's no demand for your token. Burning ain't going to do nothing. And they started burning tokens and wanted to make these big announcements, and the price is still free falling, like as if they fell off a cliff. If you're not, and so somebody brought up to me and texted me after that short I put in today and said, wait a minute, you know, how do we even know if they're not using their money from sales or whatever and putting that back into liquidity? How do you know they're even selling to anybody? Like, who's buying these pictures of just you driving down the road and just taking a picture? You already got Hive Mapper. You already got Nadix. I'm sure there's other ones out there too that are taking camera pictures. Like, you know, and it's more disappointing and POs me because 6-7 months ago, I was very big on Soarchain. Very big on Soarchain. And, you know, I expect this from some of these free projects, but you had to actually pay $100, almost $100 for a device to plug into your OB2 port. Then I had to go buy a splitter so I can run demo in this device. But the dang thing don't even stay connected. At least demo runs off the helium places, you know, the helium spots all over my area that I have. But I don't have to ever touch it. You know, I don't know what's going on with Soarchain. KMB, man, what you know about KMB? I thought KMB was a Louisiana thing, Sidewinder. What you know about KMB? I tell you what, KMB had the best ice cream in the world when it was original KMB. I don't know what they did. I don't know what they put in their ice cream. They must have been putting some New Orleans East cocaine and that stuff. But new KMB, when we used to see KMB when I grew up in New Orleans, and my mom or grandparents would come home with their KMB ice cream. Oh my God. That's why I had diabetes as a youth. Yeah. So Rover made 1,000 USD. See, hey man, you can't pick all of them. I can't afford to be in all of them. You know, y'all know I'm straight with y'all. My wife gets pissed when I tell y'all that. I can't be in all of them. You have to pick and choose. And, you know, I'm trying to scrounge up cans on side. There's not a can on the side of my road between here and my work. Because I'm collecting cans right now just to try to buy an Ashland monitor for Entropy. And that's $120. So I am litter free. I can't afford that. Somebody else said, maybe it's just time I start selling my tokens. I just can't. Like, I have not sold any tokens from any project I'm in, other than a little. I always have to say this because somebody will call me a liar. Other than a little bit of grass tokens, when grass hit that $3, $4 level, I sold $100 worth just to give me some play money, beer money when I was hunting in Missouri. Other than that, grass, Nadix, GeoNet, WeatherXM, any of these projects, I have not sold a single token yet. People are like, maybe it's just time to start selling them. But the price sucks so bad, I'm willing to take the chance of it possibly going up. Now, Entropy mining $10, $11 a day. I had somebody DM me today, man, I can't believe Entropy coming out with a $130 miner and you go buy NFT. Dude, you're making $11 a day. You're going to ROI on this miner. And that's if the price stays where it is. If the price goes up, because I haven't checked it, Solana was going through the roof earlier, somebody told me. At $11 a day, brother? Was it like college math? I just want to make sure I have my numbers right. Hold on. Mm-hmm. Oh, and my code works for the Entropy miner. If y'all don't know, Entropy has announced their Ashland miner. You have to go and reserve it. There's only 1,000 of them, but you're going to ROI in 11.8 days. If it stays at $11. At one time, we were making $20, $25 on that token a day, mining, if you can sell it. But I think if this is what this thing looks like, it's going to be bad. Donkey, if you get my drift, without me getting in trouble again for cursing. When you go to Helium Deploy, this is what you see. You have 1,000 units available. May 21st. You got to put your email up here. Hit you reserve your spot. Estimated delivery June 20th, which is a month. Hey, we know from every other project we in, this is probably wishful, hopeful thinking, you know, and then everybody will start asking on June 21st, they'll start asking, what's the shipping status? What's the shipping status? What's the shipping status? I don't know why it says is the miner right for your location. It's the Ashland miner. It's right for everybody's location. You can buy 20 of them if you want and get 20. And the only thing is you do need an NFT from the project. The project has not minted any NFTs because I talked about this earlier and people are asking about it. I'm planning on doing a full video on this just to cover it, that this is coming out. But you have to have an NFT. People who are already into Entropy was allowed to mint as many NFTs as they want. You know, we had to pay for them with our Entropy. That also gave them enough money to get enough Solana to go lock in a pool and stuff like that for liquidity. But it's the biggest question. Let's all be honest with each other. While this is huge news for Entropy, their biggest thing is the second law, and it doesn't matter if you're making $25 or $100 a day. If you can get punished for selling, you know, and at some point, whether it's going to be when they get on CEXs or something that happens, at some point you got to allow people to sell, and that's what it is to it. I don't know how that's going to work or what's going to work. You know, you do get all these airdrops from other projects and stuff like that if you're mining Entropy. But at some point, that's the knock with them is you know. Let's see. Let me see what I want to see real quick what the pricing's at, because Tell you what, I mean, I guess if Bitcoin's going to go sideways, you want it to go sideways at 103,000 versus you want it to go sideways at 103,000 versus that. I want to see what. So I thought somebody told me Solana was going up, but so let's see what entropy's at 7. So we're making $11.29 right now with entropy a day. Mining it here or there. Give it take a few cents. But I think that's huge news for entropy. You know, they coming out with that miner. I think it's gonna be awesome. And that, again, you have to have that NFT. There's only gonna be so many NFTs. That's why they told us to mint as many as we could, as many we wanted, because then while some of that entropy was being burned, they burned a mess load of it. Also, you know, we would be able to resell those NFTs when those get scarce, supposedly. Let's see. I'm sure that comes with one. Spoke. Oh, well, 375 Go has been a pain in my rear if y'all see me in the Discord, because I've had to uninstall and reinstall the app according to them, and all this other stuff, crazy stuff to do, and I have it on 3 different phones. They tell you if you're using the same screen name, you can run it on 2 to 3 different phones. It's not gaming or anything like that. I guess it's gaming if you try to use it on different phones. But so I've loaded it even on my Android phone that I also use for KAGE, because KAGE can only run on Android, just because I'm trying to get my hexes to show up. It sucks that I took a 3-hour trip last week, and the 3-hour trip there, I got 0 hexes for it because there's something wrong with the, and even though when I start a long trip, I make sure I go to 375 AI and it's logged in, it shows my streak and all this stuff like that, and I still missed it. And they need to get that fixed on testing, you know, but my rover was the last thing shipped from EasyNav. Hey, at least you got it. So a homeless guy with a sign, spare $5, inflation. Yeah, I'm gonna try to take the high road, but all I'm gonna say is every time I see EasyNav, I cringe, because the fact that people listen, y'all know me, y'all, especially y'all watch one of my last videos, I talked a lot at the end about health and things like that, family stuff like that. But somebody who steals money for 6 months is a line, you know, is a line, and that's a crossing a line. Health issues are no health issues. People that still want to make excuses for this guy, listen, I'm sorry he's unhealthy, but stealing for 6 months needs to go to jail. And I'll argue with anybody who wants to argue with it. Anyway, elephant in the room. Going to put $1 in the past 10 days. Entry mean earnings. I run 375 and Rover at the same time, same phone. But I thought Rover, you need a device. I guess it's an app you're running with that device. The little device on your car. I don't know nothing about Rover. I just, you know, I just see that apparently I missed out. And if Rover's watching, I'll be happy to demo one for you and feature you on the Grumpy channel and put your little symbol somewhere up in here. Am I going to be my NFT supplier if the Ashley doesn't come with one? I'm telling you right now, the Ashley does not come with an NFT. Telling you right now. It does not come with an NFT. It's not going to happen. So, install doesn't work. Uninstall and reinstall doesn't work. I'm going to tell you, I had to do it 3 times. 3 times. And I think when I eventually did on the Android is when it started. But I'm going to tell you, I think I bought 5 NFTs. And because one is going to go. I'm planning on buying an Ashland miner. Nobody offered me one for free, so I'm probably going to buy an Ashland miner just so I can demo it here for you free, and that'll give me another mining thing. So that should give me one NFT left over, just in case there's some kind of scarcity and I can sell it for some kind of stupidly crazy price. I didn't want to miss out. I know people that went and bought, I wish D Vaselina was here. You could tell me how many he bought. I know some people bought like 10, 12, 15, 18, and I forget what we paid for them. It was, what was it, $100 if anybody's here who bought one. It was crazy. But some people just were just buying them and buying them. I'm like, I kind of want to hold on to my entropy. So we'll see. We'll see if it's another bad decision and a slew of bad decisions I constantly make in my crypto career. Oh. What else, ladies and gentlemen? I think that's about it. Same with Wayru. So upset with Wayru. $619 talked about their joke board with the cricket sound. Last year at work, there was a guy who came through there and walked through the office and had left one of those somewhere behind. He like kind of just even threw it behind a desk. There's a desk with a wall behind it, and the desk is so heavy you almost couldn't move it. And we just for 3 days we thought there was a freaking cricket in the office. And then the person whose desk that the guy threw it behind ended up having to get 2 or 3 of us to pull that desk out. We were going to find a freaking cricket. And sure enough, we found a box. It was stupid. So that's my vehicle registration. Anybody want to donate super chat for $100 to help me pay for registration? I tell you, it's always something. It's always something. There's always something coming through that needs money. State of Louisiana. Yeah. Anyway, so that's about it. Please make sure you hit the like button. I hope everybody's ready. I think we need to put our seatbelts on, strap in, and I think, if we can get people to quit selling entropy and watch that go back up, I think that's going to be pretty good. Wingbits is just, I don't know what more I can say about it, to be honest with you, that I haven't said already. Oh, trying to see what else we got going on. If y'all are in Irwin, make sure you charge. Gotta thank Just Farted, because Just Farted saves me every time on the charge. For the Irwin project, and they're opening boxes 3 times a day now. Tokens are a little bit less, but because they're opening the boxes more frequently, I think. So, I got to thank him, because if it wasn't for him and my channel, make sure y'all join my Discord so y'all can keep up with when to charge your Irwin miners. Because, again, if it's not charged, I can't stand the whole 3-day charging thing. Yesterday, I went on there, and it said I was too early. Today, he reminds everybody. I go in it, and sure enough, I needed the charge, and there's no telling if I missed any boxes or not. So I also did a huge video on junk coin. Junk coin is also kind of going to the whole NFT thing, where they're going to start selling, selling NFTs, so you don't have to send picture of your junk to anybody. And I like the junk project. I'm going to say it again. I like the junk project. But spending almost 2 Solana for an NFT, I'm glad I'm grandfathered then. That's all I'm going to say. That's another one, though. If people could quit selling, and let this price just kind of go up a little bit, then your ROI would be a little bit closer. Right now we're making $1 a day. If you don't do any of the boosters, You're making about $1 a day. So you're looking at about, I don't know, let me see, what's Solana? Solana's $170 right now. And I forget what it was. Was it one? Does that say the floor price is 2 Solana? Oh, you look at $338 for a cred with junk coin. Again, I love the project. That's what I'm gonna keep saying. And I'm glad I got a grandfathered or whatever. If you're already the junk coin project, you don't have to worry about it. But 2 Solana. Luckily, the device you can mine with, you can still use with them. You can still use an ESP32 project where with Entropy, there's no more ESP32 projects. If you already have one like us, you can continue with the ESP32 project using your ESP32 device. But anybody new from this point on, you have to have the Ashlar miner. With junk coin, you just have to have the NFT. You can continue using the ESP32 devices, which is, you can get 5 of them in a pack for, I don't know, 18, 20 bucks, or 3 of them in a pack on Amazon for 15, 20 bucks, 18 bucks or something like that. But, you know, when you look at what it costs to get into some other projects, we don't know what Wingbits is going to pay. I think I cringe at what the thought of what Wingbits is going to pay, not what they're paying, but what the token will cost. And people who have high hopes that they're going to be able to get a Lambo after a month, like the beginning of the helium craze, and they can't, they're going to deem Wingbits as not a success. It's going to happen. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. That's going to be Grumpy's rule number 4. It's going to happen, and I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to get suspended from the Wingbits Discord when I call people morons. You know, because the guy who we just saw, if you're watching that earlier, the guy who has in Rally that has his miner in the bathroom somehow next to his toilet, and he's getting 0.4 wings a day. And a wing, and I hate guesstimating the price, but even if wing is, 2 cents a day, what's he gonna get? 1 cent a day or something like that? He's gonna be the number 1 guy on the Discord saying Wingbits is trash, Wingbits ain't making nothing, and I can't believe I invested all this in buying a $400 device for 2 cents a day. I'm gonna lose it. Bad time to run out of alcohol at the house. So I don't know. What else, ladies and gentlemen? Junk coin, that's like huge ROI. Well, I mean, anything with that ESP32 device, you paid $6 for your device. That's an ROI. Just the NFT, $300 NFT for $1 a day, 300 days. Now, again, with the boosters, though, 25% booster here. What was it, like 10% booster? They're going to have different boosters of different amounts for different time lengths. If you hit that booster, but one thing that I got corrected on by the team in my video that I did was that the booster only applies to when you do the boost pool. When you do the boost pool, you can be receiving that boost. And what he explained to me is the way the boost pool will be set up, with that is that you're pretty much guaranteed that if I put my 3 million tokens into the boost pool, yes, at the end of the next Sunday, those 3 million tokens are going to burn, but I should have been rewarded with well more than 3 million that week. So you should never be finishing less than what you started with, because that was my fear. So he did correct me on that, cleared it up and stuff like that. I gotta say that is one project that is burning a crap load of tokens. Crap load of tokens. Crazy. Let me tell you something. If you've been in set up at Helium for 4 years and didn't ROI, that's gonna be the people who kept the little stock black antennas on it. I thought I had one right here on the side of their Helium miner and put it inside their house. And that's it. Like that's, you know, that's about the only way, you know. And I used to get these arguments in the Helium Facebook groups, these people about external antennas and feed line loss. At least now Wingbits, people must have been around a little bit more, but when we talk about feed line loss with Wingbits antennas and stuff like that, people know you can't use certain thin cable and stuff. You need even LMR 400 at 1,000 megahertz. People think LMR 400 is the savior. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I have a station right now that's running a good amount of LMR 400 on it. It's not a great performing station because LMR 400 has loss. And when you start running 50 feet of it, then you go price LMR 600 and you're like, I'll just take the loss of the LMR 400. But people are starting to understand that now at Wingbits, where in Helium days, people just sat here and just fought me against it. When we talked about DBIs, they would all say, well, I can't have a DBI that's high because I'm going to miss all the stuff underneath me. Are you on a high rise? No. Then you don't worry about it. My 8 DBI antennas, them layered King of King 8 DBI layered antennas, outperformed everything. And I really got hit when they passed that hip where once you went over certain mileage and stuff like that, and he did that whole RSSI thing or something like that with strength and SNR and stuff, that part kind of killed me because my stations were getting so far out there with those layers. And I'm gonna tell you, and I have layers on top of buildings running Helium antennas right now, and I've never had a station underneath me I didn't capture. But people didn't know, and they just watched it. They just looked at that little DBI image of the 3 DBI and the 9 DBI and the 12 DBI. And I'm like, please throw that out the freaking window. There's a formula you can use that says even at 12 DBI, after, go off the height and after so many feet out. And you know what? Either way, any station you possibly lost would have been inside your same hex that wouldn't have helped you anyway. So it was getting out your hex in the further, it's just, you don't see those kind of arguments anymore on Wingbits. Plus Wingbits is strictly receiving, so it's different. Hit 51 kill, let me the 50 kilometer when I was hitting 420. Let me tell you, that same the same tower that my buddy has at 400 feet that he let me put my Helium antenna on because one of his client was on 2 different feed lines and needed to consolidate to one with this new radio technology they got. You didn't have to have 2 or transmit and receive. They could combine it into one, transmit and receive. So he had one in the band. He's like, hey, you want to put a Helium device back up there? I'm like, no. But he's like, you got anything else? I said, yeah, I got this Wingbits thing. And I help him out with all his networking at the towers and stuff, so he don't charge me rent. But back in the day when I had them Helium antennas, I'm in the town where that's at, hitting New Orleans stations that are 25, 30 miles away, hitting the North Shore across Lake Punch Train. And it was a freaking wonderful performing station until that hip came. Yep. Ethernet's better than LMR 400. To a point, I would agree with that. But there's some installs sometimes that you can't put for example, my buddy's tower. That station has to go at the base of that tower. He has 1.5 inch and 5/8 feed line or something like that goes up 400 feet. Even that had some loss. 1,000 megahertz is a lot of loss. Very successful loss. You ain't putting a station up there. That other tower that he has way on the other side, about 10 miles away. I think that might be like an inch and a quarter, maybe something like that. And then I said, I got another one that's 50, 60 feet of LMR 400. That's the one that's in Grand Isle actually right now. You're not putting a station up there. They don't want to see that up there. They barely want to see an antenna up there. Some of them make me spray paint the antenna to try to make it blend in. You're not putting a station up there with PoE. You're luckily letting you put LMR 400. So it doesn't always work like that, but you're right. I tell people, you know, before you go run 30, 40 feet, if you can possibly run a station and get the station a lot closer, then you're only running 10 feet of LMR 400. But I have that argument too with people. Oh, 10 feet of LMR, you know, 240 or 59 or whatever like that. You know, 10 feet ain't going to hurt it. Oh, yeah? Well, go buy some LMR 400 and watch your rewards go up. You know, everything's got loss. It's how much loss do you want to accept is acceptable. Yeah, see, we're all flat land down here in Louisiana. So while your stations are 1,134 meters high, 3,750 feet and 8 feet off the ground, I got stations below sea level. But when it's all flat, especially when by the Gulf of Mexico, and I can see darn near to Cuba, it doesn't matter if you're, you know, I used to say before when my buddy was at his old fishing camp, it killed me. That station was literally 10 feet off the Gulf of Mexico, 10 feet high because it was on a 10-foot pole, 10 feet from the Gulf of Mexico. And it was my best. It outperformed the 400-foot tower. 10 foot of LMR 400. Green SDR until that one took a crap and I had to put the blue one. My latest green one that went out about 2-3 weeks ago. What I'm doing now is I don't even want to go buy blue ones anymore. So what I'm doing now is since I've told you I got like 7 or 8 of these because these are fine. Listen, don't click off my channel when I tell you this because some of y'all are going to call me blasphemous and think I've lost my mind and had a stroke. This, I'm pretty sure, is similarly designed, at least I find, to the AirSpy Mini, more closer than what, say, a green or blue SDR does. So when you take this and you combine it with this, which is one of those AliExpress $9.99 specials, Dollar General specials, oh, now it ain't gonna work, which is the little purple filter with the LNA in it, and you combine this and this is more open. I just find it accepts way more messages than what the blue and yellow, the blue or the green ones do. Now, an AirSpy Mini still blows this out the water. I tested them side by side. An AirSpy Mini with a full-size LNA with a full-size cavity filter blows this out. I've even tested an AirSpy Mini, and then people want to save money and get this instead of the big cavity filter and the LNA. That combination will outperform this combination. But the cavity filter, which is again $60, the big full size LNA, which is about $35, and then the AirSpy Mini, which is $99 on that 400-foot tower, screams. And y'all know what I'm talking about because I got people that still can't believe that I'm doing what I'm doing with that station. And I'll leave you with that Wingbits porn before we leave. Y'all want to do like the little school thing and we can all count together before we go to bed at night or something? Let's see. And this is only that one station at 400 feet. This is no more click than that. Y'all ready? Now let's count them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16,
17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 59, 60, 61, 60. 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 87, 78, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. 101, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64. Let me just go ahead and do this real quick, because there will be a jackass later that's still going to argue with me about my setups. Ladies and gentlemen, you are in the presence of the godfather of the golf. Does anybody have any questions? If I could literally drop the mic right now, I would literally drop the mic right now. $160 hexes. 160 hexes on one site. And I still have people that want to argue with me on curvature of the earth, what can and can't be done. I just don't understand it. You look at this ring right here. Y'all know what this ring represents. There's some kind of tropospheric atmosphere stuff. Look, I'm not even. $435 miles. I guess y'all can't see that, huh? $435 miles. Let's see, Springfield. 525 miles is what his blue line is. $525 miles. All right, class. I think class dismissed after that one. I got to take a screenshot of this before. So my Florida host is the offline. This one still does not have a geosigner. They just called me 2 days ago and told me they finally fixed their grain elevator that I can go up. I don't want to be the first one to test the elevator. This one's the one that's having the Wi-Fi issues. This is the one that, so I'm down 1, 2, 3, 4 stations right now, because this is the one that ain't getting rewards because it's outside the hex. Crazy. It is crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you, it's crazy. There is some kind of weird atmospheric, tropospheric inductions going on right now with solar flares. Our public safety radio system across the state is having fits with it. First responders are trying to key up in certain areas of the state, and even though the tower might be a mile down the road, they're getting nothing when they key up. They can't hit the repeaters. It's just like kind of stuff you've heard on the scientific posts and stuff. When these sunspots come in, I think it is. It's not really that screwing up the towers. What it is
these towers, these trunking radio systems all have GPS on them. They actually got multiple GPS receivers in case one fails and stuff like that, because to keep in line with all the other towers, they all have to have GPS timing. Satellites, sunspots, atmospheric conditions. GPS gets thrown off, the site shuts down. And I think that's what's happening. I'm hearing from ham guys and GMRS guys, they're hearing repeaters from 2 states over. So there is some kind of weird atmospheric conditions going on. But I'm normally getting 90 hexes. I'll take 150 any day of the week. Oh, ads. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, y'all hit the thumbs up if y'all think 160 hexes is worthy. But I appreciate everybody who's followed me, trying to be more active in my Discord, different projects. Y'all make sure, I'm sure everybody here I recognize. I appreciate everybody who's followed me and everything else. We're going on an hour and 40 minutes, and I appreciate it. Like I said, I got a lot of personal stuff going on the next couple of days, but I still got some videos teed up that I want to get out. So hopefully I'll still be able to get some videos out and stuff like that. So thank you all for watching. Y'all know where to find me if it's GeoNet on towers. No, GeoNet's not on towers. GeoNet is not on towers because GeoNet, I don't know how I would get power to it. And again, with GeoNet, the problem comes in is it would have to be at the top of the towers, because my fear is that with a lattice type in tower, one side's going to be shaded, and y'all know what happens if you can't get a couple of satellites. And I don't want a GeoNet on top of the tower, because there's a reason why Motorola R56 grounding standards are so great, because they've had a lot of testing with them. There's a 25-foot lightning rod on top of the tower for a reason. And I know for a fact it has been struck several times, knock on wood, with no damage to the tower or equipment. The GeoNet device would have to go on top of the tower so it's not shaded. I don't want that to be the new lightning rod. So, I appreciate everybody who has, again, followed me. And again, we'll be in the Discords, Wingbits Discords, Entropy Discords, and, these other ones. And, me put my 2 cents into Silencio and Soarchain, getting people mad at me, and Nadix. And I haven't seen my little buddy in Nadix lately, the one who always attacks me and stuff. Personal attacks in the middle of the Nadix Discord. But those people come to defend me. So that's pretty cool. So again, graduation tomorrow, graduation Saturday, and Sunday working at the hunting camp. Doctor's appointment tomorrow. Who knows? Life, man. It's just life, especially when you get older. But thank you all for watching. Appreciate everybody who follows me, and I'll see you.